Okay.
All right.
Disrespectful.
I'm sorry.
Excuse one of our giants in the background.
Sorry.
Man, so hey, we just wanted to kind of hop on. I'm Anthony.
I'm Jackie.
You know, we LL and R Learn, Love, and Reflect. We just kind of wanted to hop on here and just kind of talk to you guys, kind of what's been going on in our world while we kind of been away from doing our thing, our videos and all that good stuff, man. Uh, uh, my wife had. You want to explain it, or you want me to?
Get to go.
All right. So, my best friend, my confidant, my lover, my sweetie pie, my sugar pie, honey bunch. She went in for a biopsy.
And I went for a mammogram.
Excuse me. She went in for a mammogram. And then they called her, said, hey, you know, we need to remove some things. She had a biopsy. About 4 or 5 days later, it came back that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Man, when you talk about, your heart, man, just fell to the floor. That's exactly what happened to me. So I can imagine kind of how she felt. So we're just gonna kind of just dive into that and just kind of talk about the initial reactions and everything like that. And hopefully we'll be able to, you know, on our journey, you know, to recovery, you know, that we will be able to be a blessing to somebody else, encouragement to somebody else, and just kind of go from there. This journey will be documented. It's going to be some crying times, some good times, some sad times, but guess what? First off, God is in control. He is the ruler of all, and he gonna see us through this thing. So, I just got a question for you, my love. When you got the call, what was your initial reaction? Like, what was your emotions? What did you do first, and all that good stuff?
So when the doctor called, I literally, I was waiting on the call. So it was, I don't know, just a few days later after the biopsy. It probably was a week, probably about a week later. So a week later, the doctor called and I heard her like, you know, she was like, well, it is cancer. I said, okay. And I said, okay, so what do we do now? And she was like, okay, well, I'll get you to the, get you to the best place, KU Medical Center. And she was like, I'm gonna have my nurse call them, and then they're gonna call you, and then they're gonna set up a date and all of this other stuff. And I was like, okay. Okay, fine. She was like, she was like, how are you sleeping? I said, I've been sleeping fine. She said, if you need some sleeping medicine, let me know. And I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping good. I'm fine. Like, I don't need anything. And she was like, just let me know if you're not sleeping. You know, give me a call and we can prescribe you something to help you go to sleep. And I'm like, okay, but I'm fine. And so anyways, get off the phone. I call you and I'm like, they called and they said that it is breast cancer. And then I called my sisters and my mom all on video call. So I was like, let me just get this out at one time. So I ain't got to be calling everybody. Let's just get it all done. And I'm literally just telling them, I'm like, hey y'all, the doctor called because everybody been waiting. I said, hey, the doctor called. She said it is cancer, and I'm looking at everybody's face like, and I'm just like, it's okay, it's okay, everything's okay, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna get through this. And my mom's not kind of turned away from the camera, and my other sisters like mouths are wide open, and I'm just like telling them like, we're gonna get through it, it's fine. Like I'm real calm about it, like very crazy. Very calm about
crazy.
It. And so then during that video call, one of my sisters she was driving, I think, and then she just burst out crying. I'm like, oh my God, like don't cry, because I'm not in the crying mode. Like right. There's nothing to cry about. Like I'm fine. And so anyways, we eventually get off of that call, and I was like, we just gotta wait to get the appointment to the cancer center and all of that stuff, and then we kind of go on from there. So my initial response literally was accepting. I was like, okay, that was really it.
Wow.
I know it was.
I mean, what? So in that moment, what? Why do you think you were so calm? Why do you think you were so reserved in that moment? Like, what do you think made you kind of feel that way, or just be calm in that moment? What was it?
I, I I don't know. Like I think because I knew it was either going to be a yes or a no. So when it was a yes that it was cancer, then I was just like, messing with stuff.
Just keep
Just
going. Man.
so when I was so
Just keep going,
leave
baby.
it alone. They see you there.
Just
He
talk.
want to wave to all of y'all and say hi. Messing up stuff on the screen. Anyways, why I was calm, I think because I knew it was either going to be a yes or no result. And so when it was a yes result, I was just like, okay, so like, let's get this ball moving. Let's, tell me what I need to do next. Because I got a lot of stuff I'm trying to get done. And this is stopping me. Like I need to, I need to go. Yeah. So I'm just like, y'all know I'm trying to start a business. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
you
right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So I think that's where my mind was like, I literally was basically in my mind at the time was thinking like, I got a lot of stuff to do.
Right.
And
right.
so, and like, even when I hung up with the doctor, I told her, like, she was like, you're okay? I said, ma'am, I said, I got a husband, I got 5 kids, and I got a business. I said, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Tell me what I need to do.
Sure.
And
sure.
she was like, okay, we need to do this. Like, literally, that's what I told her. I got a husband, I got 5 kids, so I got to get through this. That's all I said.
So you just, do you think it was just all that stuff that came into play, or you just really hadn't processed it?
Not fully processed.
Okay.
It wasn't something that hit me hard yet. Or, you know what I'm saying? I just knew that it was going to be a yes or a no. And so when I took the information in, I was just like, okay, this is what it is. And then, I'm not like a fully emotional like person. So I think I handle pressure for the most part fairly well. Like when everybody's freaking out, I'm more like, okay, what do we need to do to resolve it? Yeah. I'm more in the let's resolve it.
Yeah.
Person.
Calm, reserved.
Yeah. So I think that's what that was.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part. Like we're so much alike but completely different, right? So I'm the emotional one and she's the in certain instances. Like with this kind of news, I would have been more so on the emotional side versus just kind of calm, cool. Maybe. But I feel like, because I'm a very emotional creature anyway. Yeah. Like I got it from my mama. I got it from love. But I'm just that emotional human being. So when she called me at work, I was like, all right, cool. I went straight upstairs, told my bosses.
Yeah, like I called you and I was like, what, did you feel like I was casual when I said it? Like when I told you?
Yeah. Like, yeah, you were like real calm. And I'm like, why is she so, I'm like, she acting like.
And you was like, do I need to come home? And I was like, no. And I'm like at work, like.
Yeah, like she was so chill. Like I was like.
Bank is getting all my time.
But I totally tripped out. Like when she hung up the phone, I was like, why is she chilling? Like, why is she okay? Like she good? Like, so I went upstairs. I talked to the powers that be, and I was like, yo, I need to burn out. And then as soon as I told them, that's when I had my initial like emotional moment. Like I hated to cry in front of them because I'm this guy that I'm supposed to be. And in those instances, I'm like everything there. I'm the calm, I'm the reserve, I'm the level-headed, you know what I'm saying? But when it came to that, because I think to me, you're just special to me. So when I got the news, I was like, nah, not my homie. No, not the homie. Not my baby, not my homie lover friend, not none of that. I was just so saddened and I had to get myself together. So I went downstairs, I told my team, and I left and I came home to you. And then at that moment on the way in, I was just kind of like, all right, Anthony, get it together. Because when you walk in the house, she gonna need you, dog. She gonna be the one crying. She gonna need you. I get in the house, man. She like, what's up, honey? I get in the house and she was just as cool as the other side of the pillow, man. And I was just kind of like, wow.
And I wasn't like, it wasn't like I was intentionally trying to be cool either. You know, like if we were to tell the kids, like I know I would have to like make sure that I'm putting myself together or something like that. It was just that at that moment, I was just cool.
Yeah.
Oddly.
Yeah.
To have been receiving that type of information, I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like when we told the kids, I thought I was gonna get emotional then, but I don't think I did. Did you get emotional when we told? Did you?
No.
Okay. And then I think
was it the same day or the next day we told the kids?
The next day. It was Friday. It was that Friday.
Okay, but let's talk about Thursday because we jumped into Friday.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. So on Thursday was our nephew's graduation.
Yes.
So the same day that I found out about the cancer diagnosis was also the same day that we had to go to high school graduation. So we get to it gets to the high school graduation and everything's normal, like everybody's family, but nobody in the family actually knows
nobody knew
anything that we got the information that day or anything like that. So we're just at a graduation. But at the graduation, I'm overhearing I'm watching the graduation and I'm getting emotional now and I'm like suppressing it and I'm getting emotional, I'm suppressing it. But then I start hearing your brother asking Elijah about, is he ready to graduate? You know, and then I'm overhearing you talking to somebody behind, talking about, Amari and Kobe is going to be graduating. And at minutes prior to, I've already been suppressing, being super, like I'm literally filled with emotion, like literally, like I'm feeling it. And so at that point, I was like, if I don't move now, it's gonna be the graduation about Jacqueline Jones instead of a graduation about all of these kids. And so at the moment that I stood up, I felt like I was on air running out of there. But I remember like going over those elders, like I was like stepping, I felt like I was stepping on them, I was grabbing on them to like, I'm so sorry, try to get away. And as soon as I got down the stairs, I was just like, it just like whoosh. And it was all because of, now it made it real, like I might not see those things. Yeah. And so I'm like, and so that's when it hit me, like you're talking about future things. And I'm like, oh my God, like I might not get to see those. Yeah. And that's when it hit me. Yeah. So it did eventually, but at the moment I was just like, diagnosis. Yeah. Yeah. And I cried and cried and cried, like in that graduation, like nobody was there. Yeah. And didn't care. Like I couldn't hold it in. Yeah. And I'm sure people was like, what is wrong with her? Yeah.
Yeah, man. All I knew to do in that moment was to support and console you. Like I knew after I found out what happened, because at first I thought she was having like an anxiety attack or something, or like you couldn't breathe or something like that. So I was like, oh shoot, what's going on? Like, so I waited a moment because you told me you was good.
Yeah, because you did. You was like, you good? And I was like, yeah. I just needed to go. I just needed to go. So you did ask me like, am I good? And I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what made you realize like.
I was like, I don't know. I just start, because Sierra looked at me and was like, she good? I was like, yeah, she cool. I think she just. And then I thought, and I was like, oh, graduation, the kids. I said, hey, I gotta go. And I told Sierra to come out there with me, you know, just in case she needed to do something medical or whatever, not knowing this full situation. So I was just like, all right. So I mean, in that moment, I just thought I needed to console. So.
Yeah, I mean, you really didn't even say anything. You just let me snot all over your jacket.
Yeah. So, she owed me $29.99 for my dry cleaners.
Yeah, and I cried and cried and cried, but only just because of that. Only just because of thinking about the future is why I cried. Not because of a why me thing. I really cried because of like this is something that I could possibly not be able to see.
Yeah, heck yeah. In
Yeah.
that moment, yes. I absolutely agree. Understood why that happened, for sure.
Right. And then basically graduation was like, I came and I eventually gathered back around with the family and stuff. We finished off graduation, left, and it was back to normal. Right?
Yeah.
It was back to normal after that. So then the next day I'm like, okay, we need to tell the kids.
Yeah.
And so I got the kids to come over. We got the kids to come over to the house. And literally so my son, his wife, Kobe, Elijah, and I literally just told them what it was. Like, my biopsy came back, and my biopsy came back that I have breast cancer. And I literally seen the kids the same way as my sisters and them were, like, literally mouths wide open. And I'm confirming to them, like, everything is going to be okay. We just got to go through, we just got to kind of go through the process and whatever that process is. And then my daughter-in-law, she's like, we need to pray right now.
Yeah. She did.
And so, absolutely. And so then we get up and we all pray as a family in the living room. And the way I planned the day was I was going to tell them, tell them the news. And then I planned it with something fun afterwards. And so we made paper airplanes and, did like a little family game. So we did paper airplanes and kind of, it lightened the mood. Because after I told them and everybody had their separate reactions and stuff like that. And, and I brought everybody back together. And,
well, you too, Drew.
And so I brought everybody back together, and then I'm like, okay, to lighten the mood. Well, I didn't say to lighten the mood. I'm like, okay, I said we was gonna have family game day, so we're going to still do something.
Yeah.
And we did the paper airplanes, and it lightened the mood, and everybody was
good.
Everybody was good after that.
Except for your daughter, she.
Yeah, we told
Anthony and Amari. We told Amari the same day.
Yeah, because we went on a ride. Yeah, we told Amari the same day. Anthony was. No,
Anthony was the same day.
It wasn't? Okay.
Yeah, he was the same.
Yeah, just later on in the day. Yeah, but we told all the kids all on the same day. All the kids had the same emotional reactions, but that was the introduction to everybody. The next day also I explained in the family group chat for the people that didn't know about my outburst or everything. I told them in the group chat, like, hey, just to explain, like, I didn't want to take over the event or whatever, or make it about me. And so that's why I tried to hide myself. But this is why, because this came up.
Because the next day, and then we went, because you told your dad, and we went to go see him, right?
We went to go see him that Friday.
Daddy
came to the house.
No. Yeah, but I'm talking about, okay,
When I called Daddy, he was like, so this is what Daddy, when I told him that I'm having a biopsy and everything, he's like, oh, you'll be fine. And I was like, in all honesty, that was getting on my nerves, because I'm so much of like a straight to the point type of person. And when somebody's like, you're going to be fine, and I'm knowing it's a 50-50 option, it's either a yes or no thing. In my mind, I'm thinking, like, you don't know that.
Right.
And you're trying to confirm things with me that God didn't say, and that you're just trying to make me feel okay about something that I know is a 50-50, and it's going to be a 50-50 answer to me. So everybody's like, I'm okay, but in the back of my mind, I'm already like, but you don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways, he's like, you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, Dad. And I'm telling everybody, like, yes, confirming with them, yes, fine. But really in the back of my mind, I'm like, no. Anyways, back to Daddy. So when I called him, he's like, I was like, Daddy, so my results and stuff came back, and he was like, and you're fine, just like I said. And I said, well, no. I said, well, it came back that it's that I do have breast cancer. And so he's like, I didn't expect to hear that. And so his tone totally changed. He was like, well, I get off. He was like, I'll be over at your house as soon as I leave work. And he was instantly over here. And when he got here, his actions was a little different. You know what I'm saying? I think his approach was kind of off.
Yeah.
But when he was about to leave, he gave me the longest hug and kiss on the cheek that he ever has before, and just reaffirmed that he loved me and stuff like that. And those were one of the moments where I told you in the beginning, what I told you is that I didn't want people to be weird. You remember that? So I'm just like, the first day he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just don't want people to be weird. Like, don't treat me weird. And then the same day, my sister comes over and she was like, I'm coming over to your house. She comes over, she got like bags of food and stuff. And I'm like, and she was like, I'm coming to fix you something healthy to eat. And she's cooking and coming in, cooking in the kitchen. And I go in the kitchen and I like almost start crying. And she's like, don't cry, it's okay. And I go to Anthony and I was like, she's being weird. Why? And so,
but here's the thing though, like with the whole weird thing, I was trying to explain and trying to get her to understand, like, people are not being weird. That's just love that you've planted with everybody. And then once that happens, everybody is just trying to reciprocate that love back to you, you know, and support. You know, people are not being weird. They're just very sympathetic and empathetic to what you're dealing with, and they just want to love on you.
I understand now, but on the day of diagnosis and the day before, you said, when you explained it to me, you said, babe, they're not being weird. They just love and they want to support you. Then my mind shifted, but my initial reaction is that I didn't want people to be weird and treat me different. So I was like, I just don't want people to be weird. Like, you were trying to, like, babe, I'm gonna take over the bills. I'm gonna do this so you don't have to do this. And I'm like, don't do that. I want to be treated normal. And I was like, and I need my mind to be distracted. Don't take stuff away from me, is how I felt. Like, don't take stuff away from me. Please just let me do what I've been doing from the beginning.
Right.
And I think you understood that when I said that. Like, don't take stuff away from me. I just treat me normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So
yeah, and I realized too, like, I shouldn't have attempted to handicap your abilities. You know what I'm saying? And instantly
tried to handicap.
You know, I was just like, nope, shut down. You ain't doing this. You're not doing that. You know. And I had to mentally kind of grab myself, because I needed you to continue to operate in your moments, in your mode, and how you went about your life on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Because I know sometimes, and not every case, you know, some people succumb to the diagnosis when you take things away. You know, some people, I've known somebody, man, that's still like, you know, worked out when they got diagnosed with a certain type of cancer and all that kind of stuff. So it was just kind of like, okay, Anthony, you can't handicap her, you can't slow her down, because, you know, not saying that in that moment that's what was going to happen, but I just had to make sure. And when I think, and then I'm gonna go forward, and then that Saturday we have drove down to see your dad again, and on the way back, or was it?
No.
On the way back.
On the way back.
Was my first time being emotional in front of her. I had been trying to hold, and it was so crazy. We were driving and the sun was setting, and we were holding hands.
Not talking.
We weren't talking.
Out the window, we were holding hands. You're driving.
And some music was playing. I was driving. Normally, that's just kind of how we operate. We like to go on rides. We do this, we do that, we talk, we do all that stuff. And when that sun hit me and the sun set, and I looked down at her hand as we were holding it, and I just cried. And I believe that was the first moment that we had to absolutely share together emotionally.
With no words.
With no words.
Because I didn't even know you were crying, because I was listening to the worship music. And I'm just looking out the window in my own thoughts and holding your hand. You're driving, and I'm just letting tears flow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. With no, you know, just whatever's happening. Yeah. And then I just happen to look at you, and I'm seeing the tears come down your face, and we still never said
a word,
and we still never said a word. It
was so bizarre. In the back
sleep, and we're just like in a moment.
Shared a moment together. Absolutely.
Literally shared it. Absolutely. And understood what the moment was at that time. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't want to drag it out, but
we can keep talking, because we still got a lot more to talk about.
It ain't that much.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't. But I and we'll get to other stuff, man. But I'll say one thing that I'm learning throughout this process is the reaffirming of our relationship.
Oh yeah.
Um, sometimes you hate to reaffirm, rededicate, rebirth, do whatever, when certain things come about. But in these moments, it definitely makes you do that. Not saying that I'll say we just weren't where we needed to be. We were in it and out it, you know what I'm saying? But I just think it reaffirmed everything, man. And the what word am I looking for? The things that has come out and come about, the praying, the reading of the word, the this, the that, has been so phenomenal. Like I can't even explain how the growth has been within us. And one other thing, and maybe you can touch on this. I've been not annoyingly intentional. I think in everything you do when it comes to that, your spouse or whomever, you have to be, no matter the diagnosis, whether it's a greater one, a small one, you have to be intentional. The intentionality of the relationship has to be there. And it shows the love, the support, everything, that you need to have to support that individual in that moment. It's very important to be intentional, man. That's one of the things I definitely can say. Being intentional in this process for me, it actually continues to heal me as well, hoping that I am being helpful to you.
So I'm sorry, you're being intentional on behalf of what did I miss specifically?
Just being intentional with every little thing that I do, whether it's
thinking before you do.
Yeah, and just holding your hand more, maybe a touch or whatever it may be. Yeah. She was over here in La La Land.
No. I was just trying to figure out what. I guess you didn't. And from what I heard, I was waiting on the
in La La Land.
But yeah, intentional, absolutely for me too. Like even with you and with the kids, like I found myself when I'm giving them a hug goodnight, I was trying to make sure I smelt something, or when I'm holding your hand, like I'm literally more in tune to the hand holding. Like when I'm looking, like when we're driving, like I'm looking at how beautiful. Like I recognized it, but now everything has
magnified.
Is more heightened because now I'm looking at these things and I'm just like, this is a beautiful thing.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? All of these small things that we overlook every day are now like magnified to me, or mostly important, and then it became like the smaller things are more important than the larger things.
Sure.
And I'm just like, every little thing is important, and now I'm just like, I'm going to make sure I remind people, like, don't let these little things go by, because now in this situation you're just like, oh my God, like every little thing, every little thing matters. Every little word I say matters. Like, pay attention to what mama's saying, because I don't want you to miss what I'm saying, because I'm like, even through the things, like I'm all like, now, like we talked about yesterday, I'm like, now, like I'm all like, I found myself like doing final preparations, like making sure, which like, gosh, like this whole thing that I said from probably day 2 was a mental thing the whole time before we got more information about the cancer type and stuff like that. It was more of a mental thing, and at that time you recognize that you are not as in control of yourself as you think you are. You're not as in control of your thoughts as you think you are, until you're in a position to where you can't, like, thoughts are coming into your mind that you can't even control. And you're just like, okay, God, I need you, because I can't even control what the enemy is trying to bring into my mind. And these are thoughts that I'm not even wanting to think about.
Right.
And so during that time, like it was like, it was the most emotional I've ever been, to try to have thoughts and suppress, have a thought and suppress, think about death and suppress, like this all day long. And it was exhausting. And so now I understand why the doctor was like, do you need something to go to sleep? At the time I'm like, sleep, girl, I'm good. And now I'm just like, I can't go to sleep. Like, I need a melatonin. Like, I need something that's going to make my brain just stop for a moment so I can sleep. My first day of sleeping is when the West came, to actually get a good night's sleep is when the West came over here, and we literally had the prayer session over here. And that was the first day where I actually was just like, I was able to breathe. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that was also the first day where I was actually, that moment where I was separated from everybody. And I told you that morning I actually was able to have a moment where I worshiped by myself. And I was like, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? But before, I never had like a separation of time between anybody where I could actually be by myself and God alone and, you know, reflect on it all and worship him and all of that stuff. But after that, and I was just like, thank you, because I was going mentally, felt like I was going mentally crazy because I couldn't control my own thoughts. And so I don't see how anybody can do it without having God in your life, because without it, like, I don't see how you can even
for real
control it, because it's exhausting and it's controlling. And if you don't know how to ask the source to help you, then I can see like how easily you can downturn, because it'll take over.
Yeah, I mean, I literally was like tripping out of even. I couldn't even, when you was talking about making arrangements and this and that, and like I couldn't even fathom life without you. Like I could not even think about. I was like, man. And the enemy can creep in and be like, you know, all right, she about to die, then what you gonna do now? And you ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those things just kind of came up, man. And I was literally so ticked off, you know. In times I would like go to work and I would just be so upset because I was just like, why her? Like,
and I never said that. Somebody asked me that, like, have you ever thought about like why you eat so healthy, or you try to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Have you ever said that? And at the moment when they asked me, I said, I never thought that.
Wow.
And I still never thought that.
Yeah.
Through the whole time, I'm like, now where I find myself noticing, and then I was more like, thank you, Lord, for, you know, the time. Thank you, Lord, for this. Thank you, Lord, for that. Thank you for my, you know what I'm saying? I was more thankful. Yeah. And then woe is me moments at all. Like, I never had a woe is me moment. I was just like, okay, like let's get this ball rolling. Yeah. And so we can get through this process. And I don't want to like make it as if like I'm saying like this is like not as bad as a thing, because I was definitely devastated. But I think the way my personality is, this is just how I took it.
Because that was the other crazy part. Like, you were like, when you first knew, like, it was crazy how you were just like, okay, I don't want to know the diagnosis. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know that. Show me my treatment and let me get busy.
Yeah, I instantly
like I was like,
what I said. Don't tell me. I don't want to know what stage I'm at. Don't tell me nothing. I just want you to say, this is the process and this is where we're going to go. Yeah. Don't tell me nothing, because telling me a stage is going to mentally activate me even more, or whatever, if that makes sense. And so I don't want to know that. I literally just want you to tell me, Jackie, this is what we need to do, and to get you through the process and be done. Don't tell me nothing else. Just tell me what you're going to do to help me. Yeah. And that's what I said from the very beginning. Do you know what stage? No, and I don't want to know, nigga. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. I know I got cancer. And so past that, I don't want you to tell me nothing else except how you going to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Which was so wild to me. I was like,
but that's just me.
But I know, but yeah. In that instance, I had to realize though, like, that I was like, because you just, I think you just always been mentally, physically strong in those moments. Like, she's only cried 7 times since we've been together.
It's so silly. I've cried.
Five of them was at a funeral, and 2 of them was when she was mad at me.
it's probably been 20 times since we've
No.
been married. I've definitely cried more than, I don't know why he's talking about 7 times.
I'm
I ain't no
telling you,
cry,
y'all,
no, just
hey,
no 7 times
hey.
since we've been no married.
Look at the duck lips. 7.
Ain't been no 7 times.
It has, man.
Jones, no.
Anyway, we ain't gonna argue about that. We can argue about that off camera.
So, anyways, we get to, so we got got to a point, and then so then I made a post. I got courageous enough because I felt like I didn't want people to figure out what was going on with me. If I started looking different or anything like that, I really wanted to get it out there before it came through the grapevine. And so I was like, I woke up one morning and I was like, okay, now is the time to tell people like what is happening. And so I literally made a post because I didn't want to tell this person, tell this person, tell this person, tell this person. I'm like, just put it on Facebook, everybody will know, and then people can do with it as they will. And what people decided to do, which I love all the information in the prayers and everything in Facebook, but it also made people pull back. And then I'm finding out people were like, I didn't want to call you because I didn't want to talk about it or irritate you. I didn't know if it was good. And I'm like, please call me. Like, don't not call me. Don't act weird, people. If you feel like calling me, just call me to talk. Because I told them if I don't want to talk about it, I'm going to tell you it's not the right time. I don't want to talk about it. But you call me, then I will. Then if I feel like talking about it, I'll talk about it. Please just treat me regular. Don't be weird. Is how I felt.
Hey, she didn't know I was gonna do this. But guess what? You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need, baby. You are so beautiful to me. I got my baby know that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said on here, Anthony being weird.
I ain't being weird. she know I bust out. Who said that?
I don't know. It went so
Probably
fast,
one of your
but
sisters.
It was
Which
good
one?
for me to see it.
Which one? Who said that?
We
One of your
have to go
sisters.
back and see it. So we live on our Learn
We
Love
live.
and Reflect YouTube,
Yeah.
on our YouTube channel. But
that is funny. Whoever said that, say it in my face.
So since then, since all of the emotions, the not being able to rest, everybody's giving me all their that's Jakayla. She said me. But so during all of that and during all of the prayers, which I really, really appreciate, I am not declaring that I am out of the woods by no way. This is just letting everybody know where we currently stand, how we've been doing, because I said that I was going to live this out loud and let everybody know, kind of what's going on. So we're not out of the woods, but we have been to the cancer center finally. That was probably the most anxiety-filled 2.5 weeks waiting period, because it leaves you up to a point of your own thoughts and assumptions of what your cancer diagnosis is, because all they tell you is the name of the cancer and that you need to go to the clinic, and that's it. So we didn't know anything about the cancer up until Monday.
Yeah. No, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Up until on Tuesday. And so on Tuesday when we went to the I woke up like at 1 o'clock. I took a melatonin and I was like, I'm going to sleep tonight. Woke up at 1 o'clock in the
Messing
morning.
up my sleep because she can't sleep.
Excuse me. Woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and had been up, and the appointment was at 7. First appointment at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Like we literally seen
half the morning.
Like probably
five,
definitely six or seven doctors.
See, actually, it was seven.
It was seven.
Doctors.
We seen 7 doctors in that time. Had mammograms done, which that was kind of freaky, because I had my first mammogram done. Tell me go sit back in the thing, and then I was supposed to have an ultrasound. But after I had my mammogram done, the lady's like, can you come back? We need to get another mammogram. I'm like, oh, like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I was like, yeah. But go to get the second. She just needs to get. She was like, your heart is racing so fast, and she was like, I can give you a hug. She was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'll be fine. And she was like, baby, it's gonna be okay. Even the lady that did my ultrasound on my breast, she really confirmed some things. Like, they made me feel so.
They were so dope.
They really were. Like, the lady that did my ultrasound, she was so comforting, and she was like, do you know anything about it? And I was like, I really don't want to know. She was like, I'm just going to let you know that it's very small. And she was like, so, and basically telling me, making sure, she was like, you know, relax. She was like, I'm just letting you know it's very small. And they're very small. Mm-hmm. And so then when I got the
not your chest, but this.
I said something. What I said?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so then I went and got the mammogram done. They had me go back the second time or whatever. And but she was real comforting. She was like, your heart is just racing. She was like, you know, I can give you a hug and whatever. She was like, you're gonna be fine, whatever, you know, blah blah blah. And then even then we went to the doctor. Actually, then we went to, you know, see the first doctor. See the first doctor. And all of this is happening in the same facility. So we're not moving around. We're just moving to different areas in the facility. And so we seen the first doctor, and the first doctor, I told the first doctor that came in, I said, before you say anything, I don't want to know the diagnosis. Can you pass that down the grapevine? Don't tell me. I said, don't tell me no stages. I don't want to know. Just pass it down the grapevine so we don't know. And she was like, okay, and I'll do what you told. And so anyways, the doctor comes in, the surgeon comes in, because it's the type of cancer it is. I will have to have surgery. And so the doctor comes in, and I was like, did they tell you that I'm not supposed to that you're not supposed to tell me the stage? Like, I don't want to mess up my mental. And she was like, can you tell me why? I was like, I don't want nobody to mess up my mental. Like, I'm already taking melatonin every night to go to sleep. Don't mess with me. And she was like, well, maybe we'll make you feel better once everybody comes in and educate you and stuff like that. And maybe you'll feel better after the education on everything. And I'm like, no, but you know, whatever you say, lady. And so she was very thorough. She was very thorough, very kind, telling me, you know, about lumpectomies, mastectomies, genetic testing I got to go through and stuff like that. And then the next person comes in.
Wait, when she told you that though, like, I'm gonna be honest, in that moment, my heart sank. Cause when she asked, like, why you don't want to know? And I was just kind of like, what kind of bull crap is that? Like I instantly kind of got furious, and I don't know if you noticed, but I dropped my head and I started going like this, because I was like, why would you ask that question? Like, I know she was being thorough. I know she was being nice, but she was just like, I was not in the you didn't want to know moment. Like, it was worse than expected. Yeah, I was like,
but I didn't think that.
Oh,
I didn't have that emotion behind it.
Oh, okay, I did.
Oh
man, I tripped out. I was like, so you gonna do that to her?
What I got is when she had the sheet of paper. So they had this sheet of paper with a titty on the picture. With a titty on the picture. And
childish.
And then like all of these words and stuff like that. And then it got like a number, and everybody knows stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And so I'm looking at this number, and I'm like, right? Did you think that when you seen the number too?
Yes.
And so then she starts explaining, and then that number means nothing compared to
nothing.
It doesn't mean stage. And
no, it doesn't.
But we never talked about it out loud.
Sure.
We're just seeing the number and assuming like, I told you I didn't want to know
no,
the number. You're not going to cover up the number. Put your finger, lady. I see the number. Like, dang, like, y'all are so disrespectful. But it wasn't even about that. So then, anyway, so she explains, the second person comes in there, and then the third person, we're not going to expose to everybody on here what the stage is.
Yeah.
But the third person comes in, and he's like, hey, he was like, you're at stage this, and blah, 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 blah. And
I was like,
we looked at each other, was like,
they didn't tell him.
They didn't tell me.
He didn't get the memo.
He did not get the memo. We both looked at each other like,
Trip.
He was the radiologist.
Yeah,
and so it was just
we
like,
tripped
no, radiation?
Radiate,
radiation
whatever,
guy.
yeah.
And so we looked at each other like, and just let him finish talking.
No, he was oncology.
But he does the radiation.
Oh, okay.
Oncology was the one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought I saw him.
It probably did.
Man,
It probably
girl,
did.
You don't know what you're
It probably did. But his thing was the radiation. He was radiation guy because he said, "I'll go to the radiation person in the stomach or whatever."
That's true. Yeah.
But anyways, he came in there all excited, like, "Hey, this is your stage, and so this is what we're gonna do." And I'm just like,
I mean, we paused like. And he didn't even have a break in his conversation. He didn't even have a break in his conversation. He just said, "Yeah, this is the stage, and blah, 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 and then you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that." But I was like, "Bruh,"
we didn't want to know that.
I was like, "I want to chop you in your throat, because why you didn't listen to everybody that came in here?" So that was kind of a ha-ha moment for us too.
Yeah, but he was really kind.
But he was very kind,
really
very
thorough.
kind, very.
He answered. Y'all got any questions?
Very.
Everybody was very kind, personable.
Yeah.
Made the whole experience was very comforting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that. Like at the end, we left out very comforted by the information with the team that we have. With the decisions that needs to be made and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Currently, decisions that need to be made with the diagnosis and stuff. But that was like the funniest part at the thing. He just came through the door like boom, and gave it his all, and we was like, okay. But
I ain't gonna lie, I had questions because I was like, it ain't gonna be no freaky deaky no more. I was like, we can't.
No, this is here I go. So I don't care. You can cut the titty off. Like I got one. you better work that one, boy. You better work that one, cause we have to figure that one out. But I said, ma'am, this was actually what I said. I said, ma'am, I don't care about titties that much. I mean, but if I'm gonna have one, then we're gonna work that one titty. But anyways, and so she thought like, I don't know, but we got what stage we're at. We got the plan. Surgery is scheduled tentatively for July 20th. And so we will have a surgery. We don't know if it's going to be a full mastectomy or just a lumpectomy until my genetic testing and stuff comes back. So once genetics come back, then they'll know if it's what's in my DNA that caused it. They're saying because I'm so young, then they'll be able to see if it's something genetic. And to be honest, if it's a genetic thing, then they're saying that there's no point to keep either breast because it's something that'll reoccur. So that's why they're checking my genetics because I'm so young. And if it's something that'll reoccur, then both of the ladies are gone. I'll probably just take me a whole photo shoot or something for memory purposes, but that'll be what that is. Or we'll just go with a lumpectomy, which is just taking the stuff out and they had, and like she said, she was like, we have ways where you can either get breast implants and all of that extra stuff. And I currently don't know if I'm interested in breast implants, to be honest. That's what I told her. I don't know if breast implants are for me, but she said I wouldn't, because my main question with breast implants was, will I have to still get a mammogram? And she's like, not really, because you won't literally have any breast tissue.
Yeah.
And so we'll just put spacers in there or something like that, and then be able to put the whatever.
Or they wanted to like pull some.
They take natural fat from your body or something like that and put it in there, and that seemed like that'd be weird too. So I'm just like, I can wear a tank top.
Yeah, but you know what bothered me? Like you still have to go through either radiation or chemo. That's what bothered me.
So the radiation is if it's just lumpectomy. And then it's radiation every day for, I think
for 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks every day.
5 weeks
for 5 weeks.
No, 5 days a week.
5 days.
5 days a week for 4 weeks.
Something like that.
4 to 6 weeks.
It's definitely 5 days a week.
5 days a week. Yeah.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
5 days a week. Radiation determines. Chemo determines if once they do the surgery and they take whatever out and they send it to wherever they send it to, and it determines that something's off or something, then it's jumped right into a chemotherapy treatment or something like that. But they're still, with the type of cancer, really hopeful. It's not super aggressive or anything like that. They're like, you're fine. Us waiting a month for your surgery. Nothing's going to change. Everything's going to stay the way it is. You caught it early. Thanks for keeping up with, like, they're like, you're like the poster child of this diagnosis.
So let me say this. I hate to cut you off, but let me say this. Like, and I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not saying that I paid attention, but you're the first woman that I've known to just pay attention to her body the way you do. I remember I was fussing when I saw when I'd be in the shower, man, get this lady with these breasts off of here, you know. And all it was just a pamphlet of what you should do and how you should check yourself and all that kind of stuff when you're in the shower. And I was like, so you're always doing something different, something extra.
I've had it for years.
But but still, I'm like, why is this here? Like, this ain't about to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So I was always just kind of like, and I applaud you because you've always been in tune with your body, especially when you just like, something ain't right. Mm-hmm. Like, especially even after your cycles and all that kind of stuff, you was like, babe, something ain't right. You immediately, the very next day, made an appointment and you was like, well, okay, I got a doctor's appointment to figure out. Like, so I just admire you paying attention. And what would you say to the people out there that's not just kind of listening to their self or really, because some people are scared.
Oh yeah, I have a sister that says, like, I'm like the man of the sisters. I'm not going to go get all that stuff checked out. I'm like, girl, don't be fooled. Like, come on now. But she's like, be aware of your body. I know sometimes it's just maturity before you get to self-diagnosis.
Yeah, Tiffany Robertson. Yeah, they're good people. So, she just battled that too. So we love you, Tiff.
So be aware. I know sometimes it's just maturity. Being aware of your body, because it took me, like, you know, you're a teenager, whatever, you're not aware, and then most parents don't teach their kids how to be aware of their body, and then kind of just getting informed of the information is what made me aware. So I was always the one that would tell my sisters, get your phone out your bra. Like, stop putting your phone in your bra. Yeah. Or y'all checking y'all titties. Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was always that one. And I was, like you said, like, I had the thing hanging up in the shower for years. And I would be in the shower and I literally, you know, doing the field test and stuff like that. Or I'm laying down in the bed and I'm like, feeling and stuff. And for this to be what happened, and I'm just like, I'm the advocate that I didn't try to be the advocate. I didn't want to be learning racism and nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't my plan. Like, I was just doing what was natural and okay for me to be, because I wanted to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, of my body. And, you know, I mean, breast cancer is a thing. So, and I was just like, that was just something that I always watched out for. I was always like, feeling and not knowing what I'm feeling. And then remember when I asked at the doctors, I said, well, when she was feeling my breast, I said, well, how did I miss this? Because I didn't self-diagnose. I literally was diagnosed because this was only my second mammogram. And so this is how I really quick, how I found out is because I was always having a pain underneath my arm over here, which caused me to be like alarmed, like, babe, I keep getting this sensation under my arm, like, I don't know what this is. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go to the doctor. The doctor's like, girl, she didn't say girl, but she was like, you know, you're getting older, you're probably having a hormonal shift or something like that. But since you're about to be 40, let's schedule your mammogram. I had my first mammogram, everything came back normal. You have dense breast, whatever is all I heard. And so in between there, I still had kind of the pain underneath my right side. And I'm like, man, let's track it. Maybe it's around my cycle. So then it's around my cycle. And I'm like, okay, it's a cyclical thing. So fine. But then it went away. And then it came back, and I'm like, I'm going back to the doctor. Like, this is going to tell me something, right? And so I go back to the doctor, and this was in February, and she's like, okay, well, let's do an ultrasound of this area. So she's doing that. So she scheduled me to do an ultrasound under that area, and didn't see anything or anything like that. And then May this year came, because I was like, should I still do matter of fact, they did an ultrasound, and I was like, should I still do a mammogram since I got all of this stuff done? And she was like, yeah, go ahead and schedule. And so I scheduled it again around my birthday. So the day after my birthday, I went in, and they're like, and at the time that I got my mammogram done, they're like, I said, oh, this is perfect because this pain I'm having in my breast area is happening now, so this is perfect. Like y'all gonna see something because something's happening.
Something's happening. Right.
And they called me after my mammogram and was like,
Thanks, cousin Lisa.
We do see something, but it's not on your right breast. It's actually your left. And I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with my left. Like the plane is over here. Yeah. But anyways, the whole time I'm thinking like, if we're gonna find something, it's on this right side, and it's actually 2 spots on the left side. And the lady said the way why I couldn't feel it is because it's a little deeper, and because they had more experienced fingers, basically, is how she kind of explained it, is how they can like, feel what they're able to feel with their fingers. She was like, you probably wouldn't have noticed it because, even though you're checking, you're not, fully aware of what to actually feel like. But they said normally when they get people in, it's like at least 2 centimeters, and mine are a whole lot smaller than that. And so we're in a good position with the type of cancer, the positives and negatives, whatever it is a hormonal, caused by some type of hormonal thing.
Lymph nodes and all that stuff.
No, not that. That's lymph nodes.
Hey, I was in there trying to pay attention. I was like, yeah, lymph nodes, yeah. I don't even know what that is.
But yeah, anyways, they I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyways, what I would say to anybody is people that are not paying attention to their body. If you have kids, get them to start paying attention to their body as well. Because I talk to my sons about, go check your balls.
Yeah, male and female.
Yeah, go check your balls. Just check your chest. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Anything look different, let mommy know. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So make sure that everybody is basically body aware all the time. Don't be scared to take your butt to the doctors. Ask them if it's your time to start getting those yearly checkups done. Get them done. It will save your life. If you're feeling weird, go get it checked out. If you need to go get it again until you get some answers that you can actually be comfortable with getting. But I think that's all that's probably
saying, Alicia. Hey, I gotta know. I for real. I was in there. I was like, I promise I was trying to pay. I thought I was paying attention. I thought I was. I was trying to use the big words she was using and everything. Just stop, Anthony. Just stop.
Just be a good listener.
Just be an active partner. Look, just be an active listener, sir. Just be it.
Just be a good partner. Just be a good partner and be present. Just be present, and we'll go from there. But we are excited about the diagnosis. We're not as fearful. Anxiety has went down from all the information, like the doctor has said. So we are very hopeful. Again, we're not out of the waters of anything. No. Yeah. We're still definitely in it. So anybody that said that they were praying for me, please do not stop. Please do not stop praying, because we're not stopping our prayers at all. No. Because we know, just because we got those results, that we still need prayers from everyone. So continue to pray. But we are in this fight
together.
We're in the fight together, and we plan on coming out victorious, absolutely, and then continue to share what's actually going on.
And I got a couple of more things.
Go ahead,
I want to say to those spouses, boyfriends, even if somebody else is dealing with cancer, please be a support and not a hindrance. Be support and not a burden. Be a support and love. Like it definitely makes a difference. And one thing that I've always known to do, like we talked about being intentional, but it's another thing that I continue to do, like, is mend the fences. Whatever somebody in your life may be dealing with, whatever, even if it's with your spouse, fix it, restore, reconcile, whatever. Those things are like super important, because again, people don't believe it, man. We living in the last days, especially with all the mess that's just kind of happening. And you want to have that positive relationship with whomever it may be. I don't care if it's a brother, sister, cousin, boyfriend, spouse, husband, whatever, you want to make sure those fences are definitely mended, man, because, you know, sometimes we live in the shoulda, coulda, woulda world, and we have to make sure we don't be there. If it's unfixable for you and that person, pray to where it can be fixable. And, you know, please, please, please love on each other. But with that being said, man, you have anything else?
You said you had 2 things.
I did say that. I said men and fences in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, she don't pay attention. She don't pay attention. Hey, I gotta take melatonin because she taking melatonin because I can't sleep because she can't sleep. God bless America.
He be knocked out. I be up in the middle of the night like, you just gonna keep breathing?
Man, listen, she may think I'm asleep, but I ain't sleep.
You be asleep.
I don't either.
I ain't been up lately. When I take melatonin, I let it swivel around in my mouth.
Hey,
and then
matter of fact, hey, speaking of, like, you was all on my side last night. Like, I mean, deep. And I was like, I tried to kind of, I was just like, forget it, man. I just laid there like this. She took over the whole bed, yo. But anyway, man, we love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the prayers. Please continue. You know, we gonna be our authentic selves, no matter the diagnosis, no matter the situation. But we know we're gonna believe the report of the Lord, and we're gonna make it happen, man. And well, excuse me, not we, but He is gonna make it happen. Yeah, all the time, man. And again, reaffirm, rebirth, renew, replenish your relationship with Christ, man. If you don't have one, get one. If you don't believe. I'm telling you. Anyway, let me shut up. But anyway, because I go into preach mode and I ain't even no preacher. But man, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Love, learn, and reflect. Anthony and Jackie out. Peace.
Love you.
Love you too.
Oh, I don't know how to end a live on YouTube.
I was on YouTube.
So,
you gonna post now?
Yeah, go ahead. Never delete. Oh, host now. And then, how do you end this on YouTube? Jackie doesn't know. I guess let's see what this says. Save highlights, share, mute microphone. Press the X button.
Who?
Oh, Lord, no. I guess I pressed the X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?